We are starting with a new series today, and that is we're dealing with modern Indian thinkers. There are also modern Western thinkers, but we're first starting with modern Indian thinkers. And the philosopher that we're going to study today in a detailed manner is Aurobindo. All right. So, without any delay, let's get to it. We'll do some of the important, points under Aurobindo's philosophy. We'll discuss the questions that usually come in the exam and things like that, right? So let's get started. First thing that you need to know is that Aurobindo was a philosopher, of course, right? He was also an Indian nationalist. Then he was a freedom fighter. He was a poet, and he was also a spiritual reformer. So he had a very, important role to play in India's struggle for independence. But after some of the incidents that happened in his life, he quit this altogether and went into the path of his being a spiritual reformer, right? So, what we're concerned with in philosophy is this part. We're not going to be studying him as a poet or as a nationalist or his contribution to the freedom struggle, none of that. We're going to study him as a philosopher who has worked on, you know, finding out the spiritual path, and we're going to study him as a spiritual reformer. Is this clear? Then, now let's look at some of the important literatures. I always say that literature, some of the literatures you should always know, some of the important works by the philosopher. There is this part is especially important under modern thinkers. So some of his important works are The Divine Life, then The Mother, then Savitri, then The Human Cycle. Then it's also the hymns of mystic fire, and these are his works, right? But at the same time, he has also commented upon Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, and the Upanishads. All right. So this is all the important literature. By the way, we're talking about the same Aurobindo who has this ashram in Pondicherry, which is very famous, and it's called the Aurobindo Ashram. All right. So please remember some of the important literature's name. You can also Google them out. And then he has also commented on Bhagavad Gita. He has wrote commentaries on Vedas and also Upanishads, right? Now coming to the first important concept that we have in our syllabus is his concept of evolution, right? So before I explain you that, I want you to know this from the exam's point of view, that there is some similarity between his philosophy, that is Aurobindo's philosophy, and Advaita Vedanta, when there is a when they're discussing the concept of creation, right? This is important point that you need to know from the exam's point of view. There's a close similarity between how Aurobindo and how Vedas describe the process of creation, especially Advaita Vedanta. All right. Now, it's not exactly the same. There are some differences too, but if it comes in the exam, it is this his understanding of the concept of creation is closest to the Vedanta philosophy, right? Now let's understand what Aurobindo has to say about creation. So you see, Aurobindo, if I have to explain this to you in a simple sentence, I'll say creation according to Aurobindo is nothing but an expression of Ananda. This is extremely important. It is nothing but an expression of ananda or joy, right? This view is also held by ancient seers, that there's delight. What's written in our ancient literature is that there is delight, or that delight is the expression of the creation, or delight is the secret of the creation. So what you have to remember is that Aurobindo doesn't use the word delight. The word that he uses is ananda. The word that he uses is joy, right? That creation is nothing but an expression of ananda or joy, right? Now, I told you that this similar thing is also present in our ancient literatures, and I said that the word that they have used is delight, that the secret of the creation is delight, right? So let's understand what do I mean by that. Ancient literature, right? The concept creation delight, right? Now, if you see Upanishads say that delight is this D is delight, right? That delight is the root of birth. It is the cause of existence. It is the cause why we remain in existence, and it is also the cause why creation ceases. So you see, there is an entire cycle happening here, starting with birth, then remaining in existence, and then the cessation of this existence, right? All of this is associated with one particular thing, that is delight. Now, this is the common thing between all these three stages, right? I hope this is clear. Now, I said this is given in the Upanishads. So, Upanishads say from delight, all existent are born. By delight, they remain in life. Is this clear? And to delight, they return. All right. So see, there's birth, there's remaining in life, that is, there's existence, and then there's also returning back to it. But all of this is happening keeping in mind that there is delight, that is the root cause of all of this. I hope this point is clear, right?